Oh, man.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Who done did it? We in it. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just realized that my middle daughter has left.
You know what's funny, dude, is I purposely left this here. She's been trying to feed me.
There's some tea and crumpets right there. Imaginary tea and crumpets.
For all the audio listeners, it's like a turquoise blue saucer and a turquoise blue teacup.
Right.
And since I came over, she's been trying to feed me whatever's in this cup.
Imaginary tea.
Yeah. All day.
This is the reverse. This is the
So
reverse. This is the reverse get out.
So we leaving it there. So with the banana, we have a little plastic banana here too.
Right. Yeah, yeah. So. Nothing racist about that. Right. I'm just joking. I'm sorry. This is the reverse get out. So you couldn't see anything in the cup, but every time you drank it. So what we gonna do is we gonna get rid of your consciousness. And then put an old black man's consciousness in your body. It's the reverse get out.
Okay.
Oh, oh man.
Man, I didn't think you were going to do it. That was a good little sneak in there too, man. That was dope, man. That was dope, dude.
I'm dying, bro. They're like in the plot twist of the gray space. You over there like, yeah, so brother.
Well, look at everybody who's watching. Shirt.
Yo.
AMG,
man.
About my grind.
Hey. Shout out to About My Grind. Let me get that out the way. Shout out which way? This way? I got to do it the reverse, you know what I mean? I got to do the shimmy on it. Shout out to About My Grind. Shout out to AMG, man.
If people watched the previous episode.
Yes, sir. Take a sip.
It's hot out there, by the way.
It is.
It's steaming.
It's
hot, dude. It's really hot.
It really makes no sense how hot it is.
It's hot. But I said, I can't wait for you to wear this shirt. And the reason is because it's a white shirt. I never, ever, ever see you wear a white shirt, dude. Never.
I haven't worn a white shirt since...
Dude, you really should wear white shirts more often, though. It looks dope.
You know, it brings out the the complexion.
But you know what's cool?
Complexion.
Because it's white, and then it has the black, like the Friends or whatever this.
Martin, actually, it's Martin.
Martin, yeah. And
but it
like
the
matches
90s
your, like,
thing,
your hat, dude. It's like the reverse of your hat. Your hat's black with the white D.
Right. It is literally the clothing version of me.
So everything's in reverse today, right? Is what we're doing?
Is that what we're doing out here?
Well, I mean, we got the reverse.
Yeah.
The reverse tee. Now we got the t-shirt and the hat is reversed.
Yeah, that's true.
Man.
Well, how we doing out here?
We doing good. By the way.
Yeah.
We on episode 30.
Word?
This is 30. Everybody, I want to give a big shout out to everybody. I know we usually do this at the end, but I got to give a shout out to everybody who has rocked with us from the beginning or dove in the middle, who's listening to it now. If this is your first episode, thanks for rocking with us, man. We appreciate you guys. Means a lot to us,
for sure,
because it's all about the conversation. If this is your first one, man, we got hours and hours worth of awesome stuff. The first 10 or so were audio, or 12, something like that. and the rest are on YouTube. You guys can go check
Yeah.
out the videos on that.
Or
See the
both.
progression of our cameras. went from to
All right,
and then one camera
yeah.
to now 3 cameras.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Yeah, man.
so it's just
Yeah,
not
man.
where we came from. You know.
Yeah,
30.
shout out to the listeners, man. Shout out to everybody who has been rocking with us. Shout out to the first person that's watching this episode for the first time and checking us out for the first time,
Right.
man. Shout out to everybody, man. And like we always say, man, please, subscribe and share, man. And that's so important. We want you guys to share it, not because, partially because we want to get more viewers and listeners, but it's mainly because we want to continue the conversation.
Right.
And the more people that we have in the conversations that we
All
have,
about
the
the
more
conversation.
feedback, the better the conversation is. I mean, that's just the honest truth. The more information and dialogue that we can have, then the better this podcast is, man. And I know we've been talking about it, about getting guests on.
Right.
We're working hard towards doing that. Obviously, with everything going on right now, it's just a battle of,
because we really want somebody to be sitting here with us.
Yeah.
I'm not against having a Zoom, but just having somebody in basically the studio, and we're working towards that, man, and it'll happen.
It'll happen soon. Yeah, we just
just like you said, everything that's going on.
Shit is out of control right now.
Yeah,
you know
everything
what I'm
that's
saying?
going on, man, with
It's
COVID
freaking-
and all that. It's just it's
So
crazy.
that leads me into something that we talked about earlier,
Okay.
and this quote unquote second wave. And you asked me a very specific question earlier, as far as how we are dealing with the second wave. And your question was, why as a society
Yes.
we are reactive instead of proactive, right?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
we had the first wave happen, quote unquote first wave. Wave never went away. But we shut down, we reopened, everybody went out of control. We got to get back out there. We got to get out. And then now the numbers are climbing, astronomically.
Right. That's getting crazy.
Especially right here in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And now everybody's like, we got to have full hazmat suits damn near,
I thought the heat killed it. Sorry, man. Sorry.
No,
man.
no,
I had to throw that in there
damn
because
right,
it's freaking
damn right.
comical shit.
Damn right. So, what are your, because we talked about it, but what are your thoughts on that?
So so we're still technically in the first phase, first wave, whatever you want to call it, of COVID. But so, we hunkered down, right? As a country, as a world, we basically hunkered down, right?
Right.
Now, I'm not sure, done my research on other countries and stuff like that. But so on in this country, all of a sudden, I think it was mostly May 15th. I know there were some states that were a little later, but let's just take Arizona for instance, since it's one of the worst. I think it's second behind Florida.
Florida, yeah.
2 hottest states, which they said will kill the damn virus. It killed the virus. Anyways, but what struck me is I was driving over here and I was thinking about it, and so May 15th, ban lifted. Everybody thinks, oh, it's gone.
Right.
Doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
Awesome. Let's throw parties. Let's go to a club. Let's go to the bar. Where there's hundreds of people.
Right.
We don't have beaches here, but pool parties. Getting around some,
Let's hit the
okay.
lake. Whatever.
So, and then, so my thing is again, you could go back and listen to our previous of leadership going, hey, we're lifting the ban because we need to get our economy going.
Right.
Cool. Okay. But you need to wear masks when
Right.
you go out because this thing is still dangerous. It still can kill people. So we're lifting the ban. We're only having 25%, whatever of, a restaurant open or 50%, whatever it is.
Right.
But you have to wear a mask when you go out. But it's like they went, and I mean leadership wise, they went, we're good.
Yeah.
Everything open again. And now there are some businesses that stayed.
We'll let y'all decide how y'all gonna do
right.
that.
So
Right.
And then now here we are. June 27th is today's date that we're recording
the date of
this.
the recording, yep.
And I think it was yesterday that we hit 3,500 new cases or something like that. 3,600, something like that. Something crazy. Where Florida was 8,000 new cases.
Crazy.
I don't know if you saw that. Anyways. 2 days ago or 3 days ago, Ducey finally goes, yeah, everybody wear a mask.
Chill the fuck out.
Reactive instead of proactive. Like if it was proactive, now there would still be cases. I'm not saying that there wouldn't be, but if you were proactive in doing something and saying, "Hey, this is still, but we need to get our economy back rolling because we don't," be
right.
My problem is be real with us and just be like, "Look, man,
keep it 100.
This is a real thing. Wear your mask because you don't want to spread it still. There's still people that are asymptomatic. And, dude, why? So that's why are we being reactive instead of proactive?
Because as a society, we don't understand things until they hit home. Until it's in the neighborhood. Right? We don't care about it. Right? So if a robbery happens, if there's a string of robberies happen in the neighborhood, down the street, you know what I mean? In the next neighborhood over, well, they're not hitting ours. The first robbery that happens in our neighborhood, then we're like, yo, we gotta get an alarm system. We gotta get some guns. Maybe we need a big dog.
Right.
That's when we start because we just don't think shit's going to happen to us. Like, even though we know we live and we die, right?
Again, yeah.
We think that we all think that we're going to die from old age. Newsflash, doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I won't even get into, for this topic, I won't get into some of the other things that happen and why they happen, right? Because there's a whole nother pandemic that's going on that we're in and have been in for years, right? And we've touched on it.
Right.
So that's part of it. You know what I mean? And then the thing is just, look, man, we're just stupid.
It's just, man.
We're just stupid. We're just stupid.
I laugh, and I'm not laughing because I think it's funny. I'm laughing because I think it's just ridiculous,
but you have,
dude, because it's
argument.
so...
Look, now, you have the thing about people going and arguing about them wearing masks. And yes, it is a fact that you breathing into a mask, you're actually the whole point of us breathing, right? Part of it is to obtain oxygen, right? And with that, we get other stuff as well. And us breathing out is to get rid of that. Our lungs are taking in and getting rid of, right? Our body does this, right? And so, yes, I understand it. But what does putting on a mask, for one, do you need to go to a store or a grocery store or anywhere for more than an hour, 2 hours, whatever? Get in, have a list, get your shit, get out in 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes to an hour because there's a line or whatever, right? Just get in and get your shit, and you're wearing a mask. I'm essential, bro. I wear a mask for damn near 8 hours a day.
Right.
I don't fucking like it. You know what I mean? It's not comfortable. Now I'm so used to it that by the time I take it off, I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
Do you still feel like you're still on me?
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's what is the issue?
Right.
If you're doing something to protect somebody else, and it is proven that the masks do benefit. They don't benefit you.
Mm-hmm.
They benefit other people.
Correct.
And if you're doing something to benefit other people, again, go back and watch. And somebody else is doing something to benefit you, then we are benefiting from each other's actions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't like these motherfuckers are throwing baskets down, and I ought to have rights. What? Go somewhere else or wear a mask.
Again,
Get your shit and get out, or send somebody that's willing. Like, there's ways to get around it. It's
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's such a me and I society
yes,
too, you know.
Yes,
it's
and
like,
that's the point. That's where I was getting to.
Yeah, and you know, like I just don't.
We just don't
Fine.
care, bro. We just honestly,
Fine.
we just don't care.
Don't worry about yourself. But I don't know, man. It's just it's hard to comprehend. Actually, a lot of stuff right now is hard to comprehend.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just people's rational thinking of what is right and what's wrong. And I know you and I talked about this.
Man, let's jump into this, man.
You know,
can I jump in real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So that actually leads that whole conversation about the mask and all that shit leads me into another point. And I want to talk about, I think you were going here, but if not, let me know. So because I have this stuck in my mind. So keep whatever thought you had. If it's
gone.
not,
it's gone already.
Oh, thanks.
I'm just kidding.
But if it's not what I'm attacking, please keep it there, and we'll attack that first because I have this logged in. Why are we fucking using and abusing politics to handle severe and serious issues? Right?
Right.
Is that where you were going? Were we kind of getting
we're
to that?
getting
Because I'm talking, fuck that shit.
We're getting there. Yeah,
we diving in.
We're diving.
I'm
Let's go.
fucking tired of it.
Right. Let's go.
I can't tell you how fucking tired I am of left versus right, conservative versus liberal, Republican versus. If I hear those three words in any fucking sentence from any fucking buddy on either fucking side, I'm going to smack the dog shit out of you. And if you text me with that shit, don't fucking text me again. Don't call me. Don't talk to me about this shit. We are living in a fucking society, bro. And I'm sorry, I'm dropping the F-bomb like crazy. But we're living in a society where we are choosing to be divided.
Oh yeah.
That I would say, right, the 99.9% that most people are choosing to be divided, to take a side so that it benefits them and not benefits what the fuck is right. And it is so frustrating. If you come to me, I understand that politics plays a role in what we do every single day. What this country was not founded, built upon. It's not what it was founded upon, okay? Because this country was never founded.
Right.
Period. Okay? And that's a whole nother issue. But why?
Right.
It's the blaming. It's so much deflection. And it's like, I don't want to look at myself. I don't want to really deal with the issues. I just want to point fingers and say, well, you and you and you. And then the information that you're spewing your bullshit about, you're not even fucking educated about.
And it is both sides.
It's both sides.
And it's a line drawn in a sand.
Right.
And you have the two groups sitting on both sides, right? Screaming at each other.
Right.
Absolutely. And screaming, right?
Screaming.
And
calling each other fucking names.
There's just, it's ridiculous, man.
It's fucking ridiculous.
You know, what what happened to having a conversation about your like, okay, that line is drawn, fine, okay, right? Like you have these values, fine. That's everybody has like certain values. Like I'm not going there, but I'm just saying like having a pro-life, pro-choice, right? Okay,
Right.
fine. We have a discussion, but the problem is just, you take just on that alone, and they scream at each other, scream, and it's like, whoa, hold up, man. There's science behind this. That's just one issue, right? Now there's a laundry list, and then what's going on today is something. It's ridiculous, man. Like this, why are we still? The question I have is, what's the point?
What is the point?
What is the point of?
I'm getting dry mouth, bro. I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
I
I'm pissed,
know,
bro.
I know, man, and it's just so, it's so frustrating, dude, to hear these two sides, and nothing is being accomplished but yelling.
But what's funny is it's not just two sides. It's like you have two, and then from those two, there's this, and then there's this,
right?
And if
everybody wants to be a team,
align, or if all these align, now you're super in the club. You done drank all the goddamn Kool-Aid, all the goddamn whatever that drink was that they gave you. You done drank all that shit, and now you all the way in.
Right.
You all the way in. You are actually not even you no more. You are whatever the fuck these 3 or 4 ideas are, and whoever your leader is, or wherever you look to for this information, that's who you are. You're them. You're not even fucking you. You don't even have an opinion on anything.
Right.
Because somebody is telling you how to feel. And what to say.
And have you it's crazy, man. Have you seen those videos where they'll go and talk to, say, Trump supporters, and they'll be like, "Hey, do you know about this?" And they'll be like, no. And you're like, but role reverse. It's
on both sides, bro.
And it's on
both sides.
Crazy
it's
to
on
me,
both
dude.
Sides. And honestly, in my lifetime, in my personal lifetime, I've never seen it be so divided. Where now it's not even like it used to just be Republican, Democrat, and then you had left, you had right, those conversations. But it is so, and so what it's doing is it's using both sides, using real fucking issues that we have to deal with, and weaponizing them, right? And not actually attacking the issues,
right,
for the benefit of their party or
their political gain,
and this has always happened.
Their power,
It's always happened. Like, let's just call it what it is. But it's so much more now. Like you got people blaming a party for a virus.
Ridiculous, dude. I can't wrap my head around.
And the fucking da da da, and they're just making us so afraid. I got one question. Do y'all think that the virus is real? If the answer is yes, who gives a fuck who you think brought it on?
Right. It's a real motherfucker.
Fight that. And then go and fight whatever the fuck you think you need to fight. Like I'm dropping F-bombs all fucking episode, bro. I'm sorry, dude. I'm spitting and shit, bro. I'm pissed. And then you got you got all this stuff happening with racism in America, which has been happening, and now things are starting to get changed. And yet and still, we're blaming parties. The Republicans can't get this done. That's why you know, these bills aren't being changed. Well, the Democrat, we introduced this. The Democrats don't want to fucking agree with us.
Mm-hmm.
No. Fuck y'all parties, man. This is some real shit going on in these streets. Figure it out. Fuck the party shit.
Right.
Can we sit in a room and get together and say what is the best thing? And the fact that we have to make laws to basically tell motherfuckers not to be racist and prejudiced is bullshit in itself, because if we look at the Constitution, what these motherfuckers always want to point out, the Constitution is to protect us as citizens of America. No, we gotta put laws and bills and all this shit in order for black people and for people of color to be protected out in these streets. And we have to do that. That's why it has to get political. Cause y'all ain't been doing this shit right. Mm-hmm. That's why it has to get political. And now you've got two sides fighting with each other about something that most of them don't give a fuck about.
Right. That's the thing.
And they're using it as a weapon and as a way to gain votes, to gain popularity.
Yep. And power. Yep.
And it's fucking, and I'm telling you,
dude.
I'm telling y'all, don't fall for this shit.
Right.
Don't fall for this fucking this and that shit. Do I agree or disagree with certain politicians in America? And I'm not just talking about the highest of the high. Mm-hmm. I'm all, of course. But when I go vote, bro, and when I look into candidates for whatever they're running for, I look for their policies. How Republican, I am personally independent, right? And and I'm not saying that I always have been. I have been on the other side of that, right? Mm-hmm. Because I didn't do and I was young, right? Mm-hmm. But now I'm like, dude, are you for me or are you against me? Or really, are you for me? Are you for what I believe in? And if you're a Republican man or woman who's running for this or that or whatever, and your policies make sense for me, and you don't come out here and say things that are detrimental and hurtful to me, I'm voting for you. Now, if you have policies that are for me, but you're out here.
Yep. Again, research. This is research.
I'm not naming names. I'm just saying what it is.
No, but you got to do your
and
research
you're out here
when it comes
spewing
to that.
hate and exercising hate, then I can't rock with you.
Right.
I can't run with you.
Yep.
Like I'm not riding with the devil just because he's helping me out. Mm-hmm. He's taking everybody else out.
Right.
Look at what he's doing out here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, man.
Yeah.
I wish I had a mic right here. Just fucking take that shit off and walk out, man. It just gets me so mad, bro. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
Well, I mean,
dive in. Sorry, I'll let you dive in so I can relax for a second.
Well, so this is going to tie in to that, and that is what you actually we talked about on the phone a couple days ago, which is value.
Yes.
And so the value that a person has.
Yes.
Has, whether it be me putting value on you,
right,
or vice versa, you putting it on me, or even for yourself.
Exactly.
And I know you just did a big old rant, but I really want to hear your, because I mean, you brought it to me.
I did. Yep.
And the conversation that we had on the phone, I was like, oh man, I don't know if we should keep talking, but we had like an hour conversation over the phone about it, I think. And to get your thoughts on value.
I think that
because this is in the same vein as what we're
it's in the same, right. And so part of the reason why we continue to move the divide instead of the cohesiveness that we need in this country and in the world, but specifically in this country, is because we do not see the value in others.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see our value essentially is being placed into the wrong things. Sometimes we don't see the value in ourselves.
Correct.
Sometimes we value ourselves more than we should.
Mm-hmm. Above everybody else.
Above everybody else.
Right.
And the truth is, everybody has value.
Right.
So many things can be changed from day one.
So does everybody's value? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Go
cut you
ahead,
off.
go ahead.
But
No,
it's
no,
just
sure.
a question here. Pop my. So everybody's value is the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, and that's the both sides, right? Of
yes.
the Democrat and the Republican, liberal, conservative,
Yes.
right? But the problem is you're not seeing the value that any way you want to look at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at. I'll say it again.
Go ahead.
What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong.
Period.
Straight up. Period. I don't understand why we keep going round and round about what's right and what's wrong.
Right.
We know everybody knows what's right and wrong, right?
Especially when it comes to racism. That's a point blank right and wrong.
Right
you
and
don't.
wrong.
There's no towing the line on that.
There's right and there's wrong.
Agreed.
Right? Okay.
Agreed.
Then you take in other stuff, right?
Right.
And you still want to scream at each other and not have any value of somebody else's opinion about something. It's okay. You don't
Right.
have to agree, but that person has value of an opinion about
Right.
something and goes, I see it this way.
Right.
Can you see it from my point of view?
Right.
I see it from your point of view, but look it from my point of view.
Right.
What are we doing? We're inching closer to this middle line.
Exactly.
Right? And we're not giving each other
Mm-hmm.
the credit
Mm-hmm.
to get to that middle line. Like you said,
we're not giving each other value.
We drew that line
Right.
and said, go fuck yourself, and no, go fuck yourself.
Right.
I don't want to talk to you.
And in so many things. It's not just this. It's we just don't, as a society, we have been taught to take care of self first, which I understand in a sense, but taking care of self does not mean you have to devalue
Right.
somebody else in order to do it.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that their values and what they value is less than yours, unless, and this is the only time that it's not. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not valid, right? Their values are not valid.
Right.
Is if they value something
Well,
that is destructive towards other people's value. So if you value something, right, that your values can literally put me in danger as a human being,
Right.
right? Mm-hmm. Because of XYZ. So if you value the Confederate flag and you value racism and you value, like, no, that puts me in danger. So those values actually aren't valid, period. Like, now we can have a whole conversation about that.
Right.
But I will explain to you why your history is different than my history and why it's so hurtful. We can do that. You know what I'm saying? We can do that.
The problem is that the value that they're not looking at the value of that other person. Either way, they're just not looking
Either
at the
way.
value of that
Yeah.
person. And again, I'll say it again, man. What happens is you take these things that are, let's take away with something that we know between right and wrong, right? But then you take something that seems like it should be like the now you get me all fired up.
Go ahead.
About like something smaller and not, I wouldn't say insignificant, but smaller issue, right? That we can have a debate about, but we're not seeing the value that each of us have and possess. And across the board, man, like it's.
Yes.
Can we get to that point already? I mean, it's going to take a long time to get to that.
It's going to take a long
and especially
fucking time.
in this country, because we live
Especially
in
in
such
this
a
country.
I and me society, you know, and don't see what that other side. It's just throwing a middle finger up in that other person's face and going, "It's my bubble. Stay out of it."
The fundamental ideas that this country has been built upon is, and I'm going to say it, it's the crab in a bucket, the crab in a barrel mentality. It's me, survive. And in some ways, I get it, and you get it, because we come from things, and we battled things, and we fought through things, and we're not millionaires. We're none of that, right? But we fought through a lot to be comfortable, right? And we're still fighting to move forward. But when you do it to the detriment of somebody else and the pain and the hurt of somebody else, that's when you have literally said, I'm doing for self, but I'm doing for self, and I'm hurting you, and I'm taking away. You have no value to me. And that word is so strong, right?
Right.
Like when you say I love somebody, right? I love you, right? Like you my brother. I love you. And I tell you that all the time.
Right.
Tell my wife all the time, I love you. I tell my kids all the time, I love you. The people I love. But you know what I do more than that? I value them.
Right.
I value them.
Right.
But I value everybody.
Right. I mean, I even, I was like, man, I even told you, man, you know what I value most about you? Your brain, dude. Like, I value what is being processed in there. Well, look at, man, I don't think people understand this. Now, if you need a lesson or something, that everybody's brain works differently.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And things click and gears move differently in your brain, right? Why can't you appreciate or value how their gears are turning in their brain?
Right.
Like, unless you're a complete psychopath, right? And just a bad, just a terrible human being, I have nothing. But most people, I would say, have some sort of interesting part of their brain that you can work, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That you can value out what is going on in there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because man, I don't know, man.
But to your point, even when you're saying like a psychopath and somebody who's crazy, who's doing all this, right? Doing all these crazy things. That is a direct result of years and years and years of somebody just not seeing any value in that person.
Right.
And then eventually manifesting itself.
Just
right?
Right. Of course.
And so what we want to do is
yeah.
like now once they commit egregious acts, like at that point, do they still have everybody has value? I want to say that. Everybody has value. Okay? And it may not be in that moment. It may be for us to learn from them later on. Right? So
Right.
sometimes somebody commits an egregious act. We go back and look at history, right? And this is where we've kind of come as a society and looking into mental illness and how people were raised and background and all that,
of course,
right?
Yeah.
So even though they may have committed egregious murders or crimes, right? That we can't we maybe we can forgive in a sense, but we can't forget. They still hold value because from that we learn, we move forward, right? Now, have we used that to try to change anything?
No.
Really?
No. Not really.
Not really.
No,
right?
not really. Yeah.
Because
I mean,
if you don't see value in somebody early on, then they end up.
go back and listen to our mental health podcast that we did, right? And it was that we don't. We're basically saying the same thing as we said in there. In a sense, we're not taking value in these people that have actual mental issues, right? And that need proper help. We don't value them.
No.
But then what happens? You let it go for so long. Mm-hmm. Then, like you said, then they do something very egregious and very, very
heinous.
Hurtful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really bad. But then you could have addressed that when they were super young.
Yeah. And you saw a little something. So, yeah,
we need to place value in everybody.
Right. We do. And we can't just point the finger and say, no, 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 no. We have to be willing to listen as long as the conversation is not an argument. If it's a debate, if it's a passionate conversation, we have to we can tie in everything we've ever talked about into everything we've ever talked about. And so when it comes to the value of people, if we really want to fucking move forward, the first thing that we have to do is we have to understand our value, or at least try to, right? And on a minimal level, very minimal level, we have to see the value in everybody. Mm-hmm. And we have to appreciate that value. Mm-hmm. Right?
Right.
Like, just like you do with your home. Why do you spruce up your home? Yeah, because you live there and you want it to look nice, right?
Right.
But you want the motherfucker to be worth something.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
If your neighbor house looks like shit, what you gonna do? And you live in let's say you live in an HOA. You gonna call the HOA? You know what?
You're gonna be like, hey,
what does that do?
Because
so now you so you value your neighbor's home as much as you value yourself, your own home, correct?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So even if you do it for selfish purposes, you still see the value in somebody's home. Like, hey man, you letting your yard go, and so maybe what you do is maybe you don't call the HOA, right? But you go knock on the door. Mm-hmm. Yo, I know this is a little trade or something. You need help?
Do you need help? There you go.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Right.
We don't point the finger and yell at each other for differences. We talk it out and we find value. We learn our values, and then we find value in the commonality.
Right.
And we move the fuck forward. And I figure out how, as my neighbor, as my brother, how I can help you. And you figure out how you can help me. And guess what we just did? We just fucked around and helped each other.
Right.
Period. And I know it sounds like a fucking kumbaya, but honestly, for people who are, and I say this for the people that are straddling the fence.
Right.
It's not for the people deep down, dark in the trenches, man, because some of those people, man, especially when it comes to older generations, they're too far gone. You can talk to them, and you have to continue to talk to them.
Oh, but sometimes, though, just real quick on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, I mean, I've just recently, I've had to walk away from certain conversations, and I'm not afraid to have a conversation, but the problem is what you were talking about. It's almost a baiting of, you need to see it my way. And that's not a conversation. I'm walking away from that. You want to have a conversation and you want to disagree with what's going on right now? Okay, I'll try to convince you otherwise of what's happening, or from my point of view, to see what's really going on, right? And what between what's right and what's wrong, right? But when you go down a path of instantly going, you're trying to bait me into something.
Right.
I'm out. See ya.
I'm out.
That's not time for a conversation.
Right.
And I would strongly urge people to take the conversation if you can, but also strongly encourage you to also just go, excuse
All right.
yourself. Okay, cool.
All right.
I'm out.
Yeah.
And either come back later when that person's, or you can approach it differently.
Right.
There's different ways to do that. Everybody's different. Everybody has different tactics. The way they come together, how to have a normal conversation about stuff.
Right.
So
in order to get past the divide, for people who are fighting for the right, and I mean for the things that are right, for people who are straddling the fence and they're like, yeah, I feel like this is wrong, but I also don't see the value. I don't see why they're asking for this and why they're asking for this, right? Have those conversations and really listen and try to and use this word, the value.
Mm-hmm.
I really stick this word in your phone and
I agree.
And jot it down and let it be an everyday thing for you where you're thinking of, when I have conversations with people, especially about tough issues, when you walk away from that, I want you to think, did I really listen and did I really take in the value of what they were, who they are and their opinion? Did I value them?
Well,
and on the flip side, do I feel like they saw value in me?
Well, there's a little flip side to that as well.
Okay.
I mean, somebody can ask you a question and you can take it the wrong way, in the sense of being like, oh, they're being one way towards an issue, and basically then it becomes, you become the guy or the woman who go fuck yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, catch yourself. Maybe somebody's actually doesn't know how to ask the question, so it sounds like they're, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you gotta be, you gotta be a little bit.
I agree.
A little bit educated enough to go and process that information, because that person might not just know.
So I'll give you a for instance on that. Okay. And we talked about it already. So on Juneteenth, the day of Juneteenth, okay, I'm at work. Funny enough, and one of my managers, who I've always felt was a little, I'll say prejudiced, old fashioned, if you will, comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, what do you think about Juneteenth?" I said, "Well, I've known about Juneteenth for a long time." Oh, yeah, no. What do you think about it being like a national holiday? I said, well, it should be. It should be addressed in history books. This is a part of history that we have ignored for years. And he goes, yeah, but, I mean, my thing is, it literally is how he sounds. My thing is, you already got Martin Luther King Day. And he's talking to me. And I'm looking at this motherfucker like, and immediately what I wanted, like, motherfucker, that's not what I did. Channeled. I said, shit, you got to give me Columbus Day, then you got to give me Independence Day. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of days you got to hand over to me. You know what I mean? And he was like, well, no. If we gonna get a day, y'all only get one day. Pick one. Which one is it?
Right, if that's what
we do, that's how. Well, no. So that's the way you can attack it, in a way where you're still having a conversation. Because then as I said that to him, and I don't think it's changed his mind at all. But as I said that, he was like, you know what, you're right. Like,
honestly, though, you never know. I mean, you could say, but he might have thought about that and really thought about it.
And
people don't tell you really what they're thinking about.
And maybe he just didn't want to take away a day. You know what I'm saying? Right. He was like, I need all them days. Right. Like, shit, me too, bro. And I need your days too, because I need them days off. You know what I'm saying? And I need to be paid for them days. You know what I mean? But that's a way. Like, you got to flip it. Right. Like, he saw value in his own self and his opinion, and I didn't agree with it.
Right.
But what I saw was what he valued.
Right.
And so that was a way for us to have a conversation and me say, okay, if you value that, right, here's why I need all the damn days, because I value this. And that's it. And that's it. And you can change the conversation. You can take back the narrative by doing those things.
Right.
So, and that's enough, man.
Changing.
How much time we got?
Changing the narrative. Yeah.
Is that another podcast?
But you know, just about, real quick though, too, you know, if you're not as quick-witted as you are, I'm serious. I'm not joking around. It's a real compliment. I think I give you,
it, bro.
that I give you a lot.
I appreciate it.
It's one of those things that this is why I love your brain, because I don't have the capacity to. Sometimes I do, depending on, right? So if somebody came at me like that, I might have to be like, hold up a second, and then like walk away, come back, and then be like, okay, here you go.
Right.
Because it might take my brain just a minute or two to process.
Right.
And not get upset.
Right.
You know, and be like, okay, how's he think? Okay, the holiday, I got it,
Right.
and I got what I could say now. You know, real
Right.
quick. You know, come back and have a civil conversation, because sometimes what comes off the top of your head is probably it might not be the right thing if your brain works out. You know,
Right.
so it just depends on how, you know. Like I said before, everybody can approach things a little bit differently.
Of course.
You know, so, but man, we need to value each other, man.
Yes.
I mean, I you know, whoever's listening out, I mean, please try to think of that. And I'm thankful that you brought that word to my attention, because we have conversations all the time, almost damn near every day,
Daily.
And you said value, and I went, that's the word I've been looking for.
That's the word,
I've been looking for that word for a while now. You know, we've been saying it in roundabout ways, right? But not that particular word. And that word really stuck with me. And I'm like,
it's why
we got to talk about that.
Hate and racism exists, is because we don't see value. And that's why, and actually I think when we first talked about it, I said that the term Black Lives Matter is, if you take all the, you know, politics and all that shit away from that term, and you boil the term down to what it really means,
Right.
It really means that black people have value in this country. And for years, we have not, at least we have not been seen as to that we have value.
Right.
Right. I mean, we literally were slaves. Our only value to slave owners and masters was to help them to further what they valued.
Right.
And we were looked at as expendable. And what's funny, in a large ironic way, when you look at major corporations, it's done with everyday citizens and patrons of America, that sometimes you're told in a retail environment or in a corporate environment, I'll get somebody to replace you. The only difference is they paying you. Right?
Right.
And so, yeah, I just think that people have to really, really, really think of that word, man. Really think of that word. Think of that word value.
Right.
Or do you see the value?
Yeah, really
in
stick that in your
everybody
memory bank,
that
man,
you're dealing with? And if you don't, then find out why not, and find out how you can, and vice versa. You have to have enough value in yourself to not let somebody devalue you. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't let somebody make you feel less than, because at the end of the day, bruh, we came in the same way. We going out the same way.
Absolutely, man.
I don't care. We may not be the same way.
Well, you
But-
still somewhere it's going to end.
But in the beginning, it's the beginning.
Right. In the
And
end.
in the end, it's the end.
Correct, man.
Everything
for sure.
in between is just some bullshit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. For sure.
So,
Yes. Value each other.
value, man. Value. 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 Not volume.
Oh, shit. Hey, man. I want to end on something here real quick.
Yeah,
it's a quick story. Red Bay Coffee. I got my coffee in.
Shout out to Ray Bay.
Delicious, dude. I
Is it?
have 2 bags, right?
I'm gonna need
and
you
I
to- I'm gonna
cannot
need-
remember the name of it. My apologies, but I'm going to tell you a story here real quick.
Take a picture, post it on Instagram.
Oh, I will do that.
Yeah, do that.
Man, I'm terrible at I
know,
I'm so sorry, everybody. I am
You posted
terrible.
what you heard in the gray space, and that's it for the whole
Oh, dude, I am
week.
terrible at Instagram. We
No,
could
no.
go down this whole road,
Yeah, we'll do.
but social media is a weird thing for me. It always has been.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
never really changed. Anyways, so I have like a little magic bullet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was grinding because it's all coffee beans. It's not ground coffee.
Got you.
So you have to grind. So if you do get
It's the whole bean.
it's all the beans, and it's
dope.
it's all roasted in
Dope. So you got to
different-
ground it, and
Yeah,
okay,
and
cool.
the one I
cool.
have is
That's even better.
I think it was a dark chocolate, raspberry and brown sugar.
No way. That
Is
sounds
what it was
fire.
roasted. Oh, dude, it's so good. Anyways,
That's fire.
oh, it's so good, man.
That
Like
sounds
I look
fire.
forward to. I'm like, am I up yet? Maybe that's why I've been sleeping so terrible.
Probably.
Anyways, so I get the thing, man. I fill the thing with beans, doing zzz, 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 right. So it has a cap on the bottom, right? So actually, you flip it around, pour whatever you're doing. You could make smoothies, whatever, with this thing. But I was like, I wonder if coffee beans should work. It has a nice, blade on it and all that stuff. So, anyways, and then you take the blade part and you twist it on. Then you flip it around and it goes on the machine, and you just push the top of it, and it activates the blade.
Right.
Right. So I'm like, cool. So I take the thing, flip it over right, and I see that it's like kind of like a little stuck on the top, right? So I take it and I pound so I can see what, so it's not caked in there.
Okay.
The cap went, dude, just shot up. Coffee was everywhere
That's
in my
funny,
kitchen,
bro.
dude. It was everywhere. It was all over me. And look, dude, I went like this. I was in such shock what just happened, right? I was like, I gave this blank stare, and then I just started dying laughing,
That's
dude.
funny, bro.
Because it was the funniest thing, dude. I was like,
That Red Bay is some strong shit right
dude.
there.
so the pressure built up, and I don't think I had the cap on strong enough, dude. Oh my god, dude, coffee was in. I had
shit.
my sister. Shout out to my sister for making me a fruit bowl for ceramics that she did. Awesome fruit bowl, amazing. It was all in that, man. It was all over my microwave. It was all over the floor. It was on top of my dude. It was everywhere. It was all over me.
That's
and
funny.
luckily, it actually looked like a lot, but it was, I still had the big jar
Right,
that I
right.
grind it all up, dude.
Right,
It was,
right.
so I didn't lose probably about a couple cups out of.
Right.
Actually, it's just all ground up, but
So it was
Anyways.
so it was fire though.
yeah.
So
Red
okay,
Bay coffee.
So
go.
okay, so you had
I have
it.
Uh-huh.
What did because everybody doctors their coffee up a little bit.
Right.
What was
So
what was,
I
what
always-
was your ratio? Because I know you like your coffee strong.
I like it strong, but I always do put creamer in there.
Okay, so what
So, but-
regular
But
vanilla.
I took a sip first before because I wanted to taste the coffee first.
for sure.
I was like, I want to know what the actual flavor is.
Flavors.
Before I put a little bit of sweetener creamer in there, right?
True.
This much, it's hard to tell. Man, if you have a cup, I just pour, just a little bit in the bottom just so it fills the bottom. And then I pour the coffee over it. So, dude, not that much. I don't like super sweet coffee. if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna have a soda or Red Bull or something.
Right.
I want to have like most of the coffee flavor.
Gotcha.
You know.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's why I tasted it first. You know, just to get what it is. But Red Bay coffee, man.
Shout out to Red Bay Coffee.
Seriously, no joking around. They have my business for life, dude. Just with this one bag, and I haven't even tried the other bag yet.
Dog. So can we just agree that next episode, if not the next episode, the episode after that. So within the next 2 weeks, can we pull up on Purple Girls, man?
Yeah, I know, dude. So I meant to do it today.
I know.
And they
we busy, man.
Anyways, it was a whole mess of me getting out here. They had a freeway closed, and I said, damn it. And I went down the wrong way. Then your mom got me stuck in my head, man. Rolling roadblocks as I was coming down got me a little...
Oh, the rolling roadblock.
And then that's why I turned
on...
on...
That's a real thing at AZ, boy.
And that's why I turned on Black Pumas. I'm going to shout out Black Pumas again.
Black Pumas, man.
Dude, that album is amazing. 2019. Go check it out.
Yes.
It's an amazing album. So
amazing album.
To chill me out, and it did that. So
hey, you know what I want to shout out the album too, man? John Legend, Bigger Love. Amazing album. Hey, look, I'm not going to rank it. But if we were still doing reviews, that motherfucker's up there. He is. Yeah.
Hey, we're still doing the What You Heard.
Yeah.
Oh, another little plug. What You Heard will have somewhere around 30-some songs on this next episode.
Oh,
So
wow.
me talking is going to be a lot less in this episode just because I don't want to make it a 30-minute episode. You know what I'm saying?
Is that a record, man? Like 30-some?
Yeah, this would be a record. And I think I'm keeping most of them.
You just got to put all them motherfuckers in.
I mean, because usually I'll weed out a couple after like listening to it again, you know, and be like, nah, you know, I have my process. But anyways, check that out, man. So,
yeah, man,
that's all I got, man.
That's it, man. No more. Stay off the divisiveness, man.
For sure.
Stay out of that. Get away from being divided and see value in each other.
Absolutely.
If you learn nothing, then I hope that you learned something. If you learn nothing else, that's what I want.
At least be kind to other people too, man.
Yes, man.
You know?
Yeah, man.
So be kind, stay safe, stay positive.
Yeah, and as always, this is the Gray Space. Shh.